look back at the television series Leverage, which ran from 2008 to 2012. And actually, there's a revival series out now, which I reviewed separately.
I actually really liked this show. I think it's because I have watched Mission Impossible, and this kind of reminds me of like Spy and Undercover. And I really like how this one is a team, and in every episode, it's a team. Whereas in Mission Impossible, there was the one that was like the team effort. But other than that, it's been kind of, he still has a team, but he's the main guy.
Right. Ghost Protocol, we talked about this many times. That was a definite team dynamic. The rest of those films focus more on Ethan's character, although you still like them.
Yes.
And I like them a lot, too. I think they're much more in keeping with, like, James Bond, whereas this is actually more in keeping with the original Mission Impossible television series in a lot of ways. I really like the team dynamic here. I think the show is well cast. I think everybody is strong. And this is a lot of fun. Now, this came out at a time when a lot of these series were coming out on cable. I think it started with Burn Notice, which was about a spy who had been disenfranchised from his organization. And that was very good. White Collar came out. But of all of them, I think Leverage was my favorite because I really liked what they were doing with the show. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was upbeat, it was stylish, and they had great chemistry amongst the cast.
Yes, I think this was one of the first, well, not one of the first, but one of the many shows where I like every single character, like MacGyver. In MacGyver, I like Pete, I like MacGyver, I like Penny, I like all of the characters. Here, I also like all of the characters, and I do think that the actors are well cast.
And the plots are something you can get behind, right? You root for them because they're helping people who are being sort of abused by big corporations and people who are rich. These are people who don't have the means to defend themselves and they're being taken advantage of. So the team comes in and they're a group of former criminals. Now, Timothy Hutton plays Nate. He's sort of the leader of the group. And he wasn't a criminal. He was an insurance investigator. But he's disillusioned by what happened in his life with regard to that insurance organization. But over time, he had hunted each one of these criminals. And he went out and sought them and put them together as a team so they could pull off this one heist, basically, to help someone. It was like a Robin Hood story, you know, robbing from the rich to give to the poor. And after that, they all felt so good about what they'd done because they'd done something for good. Even though they were stealing, it was like Robin Hood. So they didn't want to break up. They try to split up, but they can't. They keep coming together because they love what happened. So Timothy Hutton plays the mastermind, and then you have the individual characters. Elliot is the hitter. He's the muscle. Hardison is the hacker. Yes. He's really smart with computers and he can hack into anything and create anything. It's very clever. Aldis Hodge plays that character. Beth Riesgraf, I think that's how you say her last name. She's the thief. She plays Parker. She's really unique and different. She's very offbeat and I like that a lot. And then Gina Bellman plays Sophie, who's the grifter. She's a great actor when she's playing a real life con. But when she's on the stage, she's a terrible actress. So it's really funny. It's a great premise. And they put it together very well. Dean Devlin is the creator here. And he was one of the guys who did Independence Day, which you also liked.
Yes. I liked, again, every single character in here. And I think how they all have one single thing that they do, it makes it even more funny. You mentioned Parker, and I think I like her. I like them all the same, but I do think I like her because she's sarcastic, she's funny, and she knows like what's got to be done. And I like how she's the girl, but she's also the one that's sneaky and can steal things. And I like that. The other thing I like about the show is that when you think about it, they are stealing things, so they're kind of criminals, but at the same time, they're helping other people and they're kind of stealing things back. So they're the good guys, which I think is fun.
And that's what they like about it. They like kind of being the good guys, even though they're thieves. They still have that urge to steal. And you mentioned Parker, and Parker she's fearless. That's what's cool. Like, Hardison, he's more of a hacker. Now, they all will overlap. They'll all play roles in the con if they have to, so they can all act and play a role. But like Hardison, he's kind of a chicken. You know, he doesn't want to, you know, whereas Parker will jump off a building and have no problem with it. Hardison doesn't like doing that, but he sometimes has to. And it creates a lot of humor. There's great humor between Elliot and Hardison too, because you know they're buddies down deep. But that's not what we get. We get this, the banter between them is so funny. And you never know what Parker's going to say. She's so unpredictable. And I really enjoy a lot of that. Now, Jonathan Frakes, who plays Will Riker in the Star Trek universe, directs a lot of these. And I think he's a great director. He's shown that over time. He's excellent. And his episodes always have a great, I'm going to call it a jazz quality to it. He directs kind of in jazz riffs in some ways, and he's got a jazz background. So I like that because he kind of improvises the shots and the angles. I'm sure they're all prepared, but it's not always, it's not just cut and dried 3-camera shot. You know, 3-camera shoot, a 2-shot in this. He's always very unique with how he puts together the episode. And I really enjoy the tempo of these episodes too. They move.
Yes. I really like this because where the Mission Impossible, they're movies and they're longer, this is kind of like Mission Impossible but in 45 minutes.
Yes.
And it's a completely different group and everything, but if you were going to watch a spy thing and you wanted it to be shorter or you wanted to watch more episodes of it, then you would go to Leverage.
Yes, and that's what's cool about it because like you said, each individual episode is its own adventure. So you're getting that 45-minute movie. But at the same time, they had all these seasons for the characters to evolve and for the relationships to grow and morph. And that's really fun to watch happen too. And I really like all these characters. Christian Kane, who plays Elliot, he's done some other things. He was in The Librarians as well. And I really like what he brings here because he's not what you expect for Muscle. He's a smaller guy. He's definitely, you know, he's ripped, but you can't tell at first because he hides it. And that's part of his advantage. He looks smaller sometimes than the guys that he goes up against. He also, I guess, is a great singer. And I think in one episode he sings, he's kind of got a country western thing. And he's a really good singer. All these actors are very talented. And it's kind of cool. It's like lightning in a bottle that they got them all together for this series.
Yes, and the thing that I like most about this series is that since I like it so much, it's not like Buck Rogers, which I also love very much, where there's only 2 seasons, and the second season isn't the best. This has a lot more seasons, and we are on the second season, and I think we're going into the third one, and I have high hopes.
Yes, this doesn't disappoint. It's solid the whole way through, I can tell you that. And then, like I said, they recently brought out a revival series, and I reviewed the first half of that already, and the second half is going to air in the fall of 2021. And I hope they keep it going. The only thing there is one character couldn't come back full time, but does make appearances. And then there's another character that had to be written out of the series, but it still holds, and you would still enjoy it because of how they handle it. It's just good writing. It's a great concept. And in this case, certainly the original series has a great cast dynamic, so it works really well. For me at the time, this was one to see. And watching it, you know, this many years later, because the revival came out and I watched that and I really liked it. And so I got you into going back and watching this. And going back, even though this series started 9 years ago, it still feels relevant and up to date and stylish in today's viewing. So I still give it one to see.
One to see here too. I really like the spy type thing, and I really do think that all of the actors work well together, and if any one of them hated another one, I wouldn't be able to tell with this series.
I agree. Let's go steal a television set and watch another episode. See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Oh, Daddy.